Welcome.
Two front seat reviews.
All right, so we just got out of Solo.
Yeah, what a movie. It's like 2 something in the morning. 2:26.
Yeah, no, that was a long one. That was
2.5 hours, right?
that was a bit of a haul. Going into work in the morning is going to be a little rough.
Yeah.
Worth it. Definitely worth it.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so first part of the video, same as our first video. No spoilers. We're going to make it so that you can get a good opinion on what we're... so you can get our opinions on what we're saying and go see the movie without us ruining anything for you. Because there's a lot to ruin.
Yeah,
As it turns out.
Lot. There's a fuck ton going on.
That was something I wasn't expecting, was how much that movie lends itself to, like, oh, there's more. Like, you know, especially when they're doing these sort of movies where it's a prequel, in a sense.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, you know, we're telling the story of Han Solo before he became the Han Solo. Like, where do you even go from there? It's like, yeah, we know where that story ends. We saw it happen. We all cried together. It happened in the movie. We're sad about it.
It was super sad. If you hadn't seen it, yes, it's sad.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure everyone who cares enough to go see Solo has probably seen The Force Awakens. Or at least you would hope so.
Yeah. It was tearful.
But I digress. So, let's start off with writing. What'd you think of the writing?
I think the writing was pretty dope. It was, that classic Disney, approach to a good balance of seriousness with comedic effects.
Mm-hmm.
Being a Star Wars movie, of course, it had a lot of tie-ins. And I felt like it did a really good job. It definitely went above the bar that I expect for Solo. Not gonna lie, when I went to go, when we were watching it, I was like, I may be ready to be disappointed by a Disney movie, but
yeah, there was a little bit of worry going into the movie. We were both had a little bit of trepidation going on, saying like,
definitely some Pride and
Please
Prejudice.
be good. Please be good.
Ooh, yeah.
Just because, like, it's Han Solo. It's like one of the most iconic film characters of all time. If you can't get Han Solo right, it would have been bad.
Yeah.
But I think it was good. In regards to the writing, I felt like Han Solo's character, from a writing perspective, was a little inconsistent. All right, so let's talk about the writing.
Yeah, so writing, I think it did a great job. It was comedic. It had a good balance of seriousness. There's, of course, parts where lending itself to the Star Wars universe. It definitely fleshed out characters, and it's tough to deal with. I think you're mentioning a little bit about the prequel sense of it.
Yeah, in the sense that it's a prequel. The general worry that I have about any of these, like, Star Wars movies, the anthology movies that they're trying to put out, is that we know where these stories end up. So, like, what really can you do with them to make them seem fresh and not like, we heard this story. This is just like a longer version of this story that we got a little exposition of in the original trilogy.
Correct.
And I feel like this movie delivered on that. We definitely got a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting, which is great. I'm happy about that. Little complaint that I had is that Han Solo's characterization felt a little inconsistent. We'll talk more about that in the spoiler corner, because my main gripe with it is that it is something that I can't really reveal without ruining part of the movie. So that's something I had a gripe with. I thought the writing for Lando was awesome.
Oh, perfect. Donald Glover, killing it. Everyone loves the Don Glover, especially when he plays cool, smoldering Lando. He really cannot beat it. He encapsulated it very well.
No, he's definitely a really good Lando.
Oh, yeah.
And I had read somewhere that he's possibly he's open to doing a solo Lando movie, which I would be interested in watching. Because Lando is one of those characters that it's like, he's very interesting, but even in the original movies, he wasn't really in them all that much. He was an ancillary character.
Yep.
So I'd love to, like, see what they could do with him, because they don't have anything else that they need to work him into.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, let's just tell a story about Lando.
They could totally make up some crazy gambling
nonsense. We could find out how he originally got the Millennium Falcon, like all that sort of crazy stuff. Once again, just cycling back up so we can wrap up the talk about the writing. I thought overall it was good. Like I said, my only major complaints were with some of the characterization. And then some plot twisty stuff that we'll get into in the spoiler area. So acting, I thought the guy who played Han Solo was fine.
Great.
I thought he did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I got to say about him. I don't think he didn't blow me out of the water. He definitely, brought a different kind of energy to the character than Harrison Ford did.
Oh yeah.
I don't know the actor's name. I'll be honest with you.
Same.
I have no idea what the guy's name is, but I thought he did a good job. And I was like, all right, cool. I look forward to seeing him in more stuff because, like, once someone's in a Disney movie, they just start popping up everywhere in Hollywood. It's just like a thing.
Yeah, that's really how you break into the industry.
Amelia Clarke, awesome job.
Oh, phenomenal.
Love her in Game of Thrones. I thought she did a great job here as Kira.
Oh yeah, it was great. She really pulled on the heartstrings.
A really interesting character.
Oh yeah,
like there was a lot of depth there.
And she wasn't even on the screen that much.
Right.
She was, but she wasn't.
Right. She was definitely a character on the back burner, but it was definitely a character that I'm looking forward on them hopefully expanding on.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows? Woody Harrelson, great job. Love him. Funny dude. I love the stuff they did with Chewbacca in this movie.
Oh man, Chewbacca, the tie-ins.
Seeing like a young Chewbacca in his prime, just like wrecking stuff and throwing people and fighting, it's so cool.
It's so dope. 190 years old.
190 years
spoiler,
old. He looks
not
great.
spoiler, but yeah,
it's in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
We
great.
can say that. That's
yeah.
in the trailer.
190. It's ridiculous. I didn't believe it. He looked great. I need his conditioner. Great. That's why I always.
It's probably mane and tail.
Oh, probably mane and tail. Not official sponsors.
Man, gotta get that mane and tail money. Start plugging that product.
Please sponsor us if you see us.
Pretty please.
So yeah, acting wise, that was dope.
I did have one other complaint that just kind of bugged me about the movie overall.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the color palette they chose for a significant portion of the movie.
Yeah.
I felt like there was way too much brown and orange going on in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got it in some of the war scenes where it's like, yeah, it's dark, it's dingy, it's violent blasters going everywhere. And it does make the other colors that are outside of that color palette pop. Like the red on a cape, yellow on Lando's shirt, that sort of stuff. It like pops with that color palette. But I really don't think it was worth sacrificing what I would consider like the visual fidelity of the rest of the shot just for those little color pops.
Yeah.
This is such a minor, like, nitpicky gripe for me personally. I just didn't like the colorization of the movie. Like, the scene that it's in the trailer where they're flying through the maelstrom. Yeah, the scene where they're flying through the maelstrom in the trailer. We see that it's just a dark gray cloud, and there's a monster in it.
Yep.
That's also dark gray, and I'm like, you're in space. Like, if we look at the things that are in space right now, there's not a gray cloud in space. It's always like these wacky yellows and greens and blues and like these like really bright, colorful things that like, it's a Star Wars movie. Like, get colorful with it, get creative with it. Like, I get they were going for more of like a gritty action heist movie type vibe, but I feel like there was definitely something that could have been gained from putting a little bit more color in the movie. But like I said, that's super nitpicky and very me.
It's okay.
Like I don't know how you felt about it, but
I agree in some parts. There's definitely got too gritty, kind of remind me a little bit of
dingy.
Dark Knight's kind of series.
Yeah.
But in contrast though, the scenes that they did do, I felt like it was really well bouncing around the different environments. You definitely got a good feel for the different aspects that makes the Star Wars movie Star Wars, and the idea that you bounce from I'm terrible with names and places. You'll see them, it's awesome. But bouncing between the different locations, I feel like this movie they really brought it out as opposed to like The Force Awakens where they just kind of bounce between 4 different areas for the most part. But here we got to see really some of the underground cantinas, the cool fight scenes, the mall or the void. It was cool.
That was actually something that I really did enjoy about the movie, was that it really exposed a side of Star Wars that really didn't get explored too much outside of Han's scenes in the original trilogy, which is the criminal underbelly of the galaxy. Like, when there really is no centralized government, like technically there is the Empire, but it's constantly at war and attempting to spread itself to literally the universe, which is like an impossible task. But that's something that we never really got to see in the original movies, and I thought that we got a really good taste of it. And it's like, there's this whole sect of these, criminal organizations called the syndicates, and they do all this crazy stuff, and it's violent and like constant double, triple backstabbing, and everyone's always trying to get theirs and then get out. I dug that. I enjoyed that. I just liked it. I thought it was a really good world building thing that really expanded on what we got from all the Star Wars movies that we had, and I feel like this adds something to them, which is a good thing.
Really fleshing out the underbelly of the Star Wars universe, and it was dope. I mean, and of course it ties in really well with who Han Solo is, and I think, once again, it is an origin movie, and I think it does a good job on that, just bringing to light. Yeah.
All right. And something that I'm going to try and improve upon from the first video is I'm about to throw the spoiler siren at you, but I'm also going to include a time code for you to skip to in case you want to just get to our rating of the movie and skip the spoiler section of the review.
Yes.
So I'm going to put that somewhere on the screen. So it's going to be there.
Maybe in the back.
And here comes your spoiler siren. All right, so spoilers. Fucking Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
What the shit?
So Darth Maul is now a gangster lord for fucking Saber. He's fucking shit up Crimson Dawn. Like, look,
okay.
if you've seen this movie, which we assume you're watching the spoilers section for, what the fuck? What the actual fuck?
And for the people who maybe just don't really care about spoilers, who have no idea what Crimson Dawn is.
Yep.
Crimson Dawn is one of the criminal organizations that we had mentioned in the spoiler-free area of the video that Han, Chewie, and their little crew do a job for during the movie. That's like the whole plot of the movie, is they're trying to pull this job for Crimson Dawn so they can get paid and, GTFO away from the Empire. Like most people are trying to do.
Yep.
So the Paul Bettany plays I can't remember his name. Criminal bad guy with scars on his face.
Jackson.
Something like that. Yeah.
Hard to pronounce the name. We'll work it in.
Yeah. Whatever. It's Paul Bettany. Who did a great job. I really enjoyed his character.
Awesome. His intro of him stabbing somebody. And they're like, hey, let's have a party. Let's hang out. Let's talk business.
I vibe with that. That's my criminal overlord. I like that guy.
Crimson Dawn.
We find represent. But we find out early on in the movie that he's like the boss that everybody's reporting to, but he reports to someone else. Then we find out it's Darth Maul.
Yeah.
With his, robo legs and his new updated double-sided saber. Did you see the new hilt guards on that?
Yes, that stuff is sick. Good job, Disney. I love where we're going with the lightsabers.
I dig it.
We need more ornamental lightsabers.
It just looked cool. And I'm so curious what they're going to be doing with that. I had my complaint as we were walking in the car where I was like, I don't know if I necessarily like the fact that Darth Maul's back, because I don't know what they're going to do with it, because this takes place before the original trilogy.
Yep.
And Darth Maul wasn't in the original trilogy, so what do you do with that character now?
He's going to be wrecking shit.
They're probably going to do a Darth Maul movie or something,
Ugh.
which would be super cool.
I need him to beat some ass.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I have trepidation.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, so we covered the Darth Maul spoiler. What's another good spoiler we should touch on?
There's just a light, fun one. Warwick Davis is in the movie. My man, the Leprechaun.
He was happy for it, man. When
I was really excited. It's Warwick Davis, man. He's awesome.
He's awesome. I also think he's in The Hobbit, if I'm not mistaken. Or not The Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
You're just wrong.
Just wrong.
Not all hobbits look the same, Moses.
Gosh. Anyway.
Get out of my car. But, okay, so talking about the movie in regards to the plot, now that we can get spoilerific with it, here's my gripe from the initial section that I was talking about, and that I felt like Han Solo's characterization was really inconsistent.
Yeah.
In that the beginning of the movie, he's just trying to get off the planet. He's trying to get out. He gets off the planet. He goes and joins the, Empire, so he can get away from the guards at the terminal, which I thought was clever. He learns his piloting skills, and then he ends up as a grunt on the ground infantry. And then, Han Solo in the beginning of the movie is always just looking to, grab his payday, get the fuck out. Like, that's all he wants. He just doesn't want to be around any of this Empire nonsense.
Get Kira back.
And he wants to get Kira back.
His love interest.
Yeah. And so, but at the end of the movie, Han Solo takes a, microscopic cut of this massive deal they just pulled off.
Huge.
Huge. And then they're like, oh, you just gave us the fuel that's going to spark the rebellion. Like, literally, it's the fuel for the ships of the rebellion. And I thought that was the biggest crock of horse shit. I'm sorry. I hated that.
It was so idealistic of the rebellion.
It's also so unnecessary.
By a child. Yeah.
It's unnecessary. Like, you don't have to say it so explicitly. It's like, you just started the rebellion. Like, why is Han Solo the one that started the rebellion? That's dumb. I'm sorry. Like, I like this movie for the most part. I cannot stand that ending. It made me so mad. Because I think it's stupid. It really is. Like, they could have just said, you just helped liberate, dozens of planets. That would have been fine. I would have had no problem with that. Because there's an implication there that, planets are starting to get liberated, and then the rebellion comes of that. But no, we have to look directly at the camera and slow pan into dramatic music and say, you, Han Solo, has started the rebellion. God, I was so mad at that. Like, it was just so unnecessary. And there were so many cool tie-ins to the other movies that it's just like, why did you have to do it like that? It was just so ham-fisted.
Yeah. But I did like that little twist. It was actually a small girl whose family and tribes were devastated, tongues cut out.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty cool. I like that.
The leader of the Marauders was actually just like a late teens girl who picked up her mother's mantle to lead this band of people trying to help others around the galaxy that are affected by these syndicates of criminals. I dig that. I thought that was kind of cool.
I agree. And with most movies, I thought it was fascinating. Of course, with the double, triple backstabs.
God, man, that was nuts. The twist with Kira at the end being a bad guy and being like, "Lol, nope, I've taken over Crimson Dawn now. I am the boss lady." So we'll see what they do with that and Darth Maul, because Darth Maul's like, "Hey, yo, you and me, we're gonna work together. You feel me?" And then he's like, "All right, peace," and he shuts off the hologram.
Yeah. Oh, with a really dramatic gesture too. He's like, yeah. And then,
he twists off his lightsaber and he's like, peace.
I wonder who's on the other side. Who's in that room with him? Who is like, okay, boss.
All right, boss, was turning the lightsaber on necessary?
I don't know how they're powered. I'm not a big Star Wars buff. I'm sorry, guys, but that shit must not be cheap. I mean, shit. They're
powered by specialized crystals that the Jedi's put together themselves. It's actually part of the Jedi training that they assemble their first lightsaber.
Yeah. In case you didn't know, not spoiler.
I'm a nerd. All right. So, any other spoiler stuff we want to get out of the way that we have any big reactions? I think because that covers pretty much everything for me, spoiler wise.
Yep, Lando's a backstabbing bastard who I just fucking love. God damn, Donald Glover, you're dope.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's it for spoilers.
All right, so I guess now let's move on to the rating. All right, so I want you to go first. I want you to give your rating because I want to see what your answer is before I give mine.
Rating wise, I'm always a huge fan of watching movies in theaters because you got to support your theaters. However, I would watch this movie in theater just because it's a Star Wars movie. It has loud sound effects. It's visually engaging.
So however, what do you think? Get a general admission ticket, grab a matinee in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Or just wait for it to come out on Netflix.
I would definitely grab a matinee. I wouldn't go on a busy night. I don't think it's that good. Once again, I'm not crazy about Star Wars. I appreciate what they do, but it's not really my scene. So honestly, if you're with a friend, go grab it. Go see it during the day or whatever with maybe a family or something. But yeah, that's my review. Or maybe get it on DVD, add it to your collection.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much where I stand on it too. I thought it was an enjoyable movie. I had a good time watching it. I, I don't see myself watching this again for a long time.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of
It,
replay.
yeah, it like definitely go catch it at a matinee. Go watch it in the movies. It's worth seeing it on the big screen for the special effects and the set pieces that they have pulled together. Because the scale of things is very impressive. Because it's a Star Wars movie. That's something that they've always been good at. Is creating these big soaring landscapes. For the Millennium Falcon to be swooping through and stuff like that. It was an okay movie. I had a good time watching it. Catch it at a matinee.
Yeah.
Get that cheap ticket. You don't rush out to the cinema. Honestly, I don't think it's worth rushing all the way out. Catch it on your own time. So yeah, I guess final verdict is go catch a matinee. I really don't think this one's worth a general admission. All right, so I guess that just about wraps things up. So what do we say, Moses?
See you next week in the front seat.
Bye, guys.